So I just saw the TBATE anime trailer, and I have some thoughts. If you guys don't know what TBATE is, The Beginning After the End is a web novel created by Turtle Me, who's an American. That was a web novel turned webtoon by Tapas. Tapas is now owned by Kakao, which is one of the largest webtoon distributors and publishers in Korea. And TBATE is now Tapas's flagship action title. Of course, Tapas also has the rights to Solo Leveling in terms of distribution, but in terms of webtoon originals on Tapas, TBATE is currently their flagship title. The web novel is extremely popular as well. And then TBATE, from all that success in the web novel and the webtoon, has been picked up by Crunchyroll to be animated by Studio ACAT, which is a studio that I've personally never heard much of, but it's releasing an anime officially on April 2nd. And if you don't know the story, it's kind of like an isekai style story. And the anime trailer just came out, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Please smash the like button, really helps us out, and subscribe if you're interested in learning more about the anime, manga, webtoon, or gaming space. I talk about all those things because I work in those industries as a writer-producer. But what are my thoughts on the TBATE anime trailer that just came out? TBATE reminds me a lot about Mushoku Tensei. If you guys don't know that anime, it's a really well done isekai style anime. Really slow start, similar to TBATE. I think that they start off almost exactly the same and then they deviate at a couple of chapters in. But what I'm worried about is that with regards to the trailer and maybe the anime adaptation is that TBATE as a story starts off quite slow. It's quite a slow burn at the start, which is totally fine. A lot of isekai do that. But Mushoku Tensei, why it succeeds there is because it has really strong animation to really carry you through, in my opinion, what's like not super interesting in terms of like I'm watching a kid fight bandits, right? And so TBATE has that similar plot structure, but the issue there is that the animation from the trailer that I saw was not super compelling. There was no Sakuga that I saw or strong animation sequences, a lot of stills, a lot of like frames that are barely moving. And for an action title like TBATE, I think that strong animation is needed. That being said, it's just a trailer. Solo Leveling, the anime trailer, in my opinion, was not super compelling either. Didn't get me super hyped, and then now is one of the biggest anime. If not, I think it is the biggest anime on Crunchyroll for last year, which is crazy because obviously it's a webtoon to anime, beating out every single manga to anime adaptation for last year in Crunchyroll, right? I think TBATE has a really slow start, but again, people in the web novel space and maybe even the webtoon space are willing to sit through that. In the anime space, if you haven't read the novel or read the webtoon, there might be some drop off if the animation can't keep up, right? Because if you're reading a webtoon and the art is really strong, the art was done by Kisai Studio for the early parts of The Beginning After the End, which is one of my partner studios, and they did amazing work. It looks beautiful. And so if you have really beautiful art, people will stick around, right? But if you don't have beautiful animation, if it's a slow start, people are not going to stick around. And obviously animation isn't the only thing that matters. I think it matters a lot for some things. A good example would be Crunchyroll's adaptation of Tower of God. Animation wasn't that strong. There's a huge amount of people who don't give a crap about that Tower of God anime anymore. Regardless of how good the story is, people won't watch it if it's not well animated, if it's an action series. But then another adaptation that is a webtoon to anime adaptation by Crunchyroll, God of High School. God of High School had a really strong animation by Studio Mappa, but the screenplay was what was the failure there. The screenplay adapted it too quickly. And so I think there's two things at hand here. One, the animation could be bad, in which case the screenplay has to be really good to keep people around. Even then, people might not watch it because if the animation's bad, it's hard to watch an action-focused thing when the animation's bad. So we'll see how the animation comes out. There's still hope. I just didn't see anything that was impressive in the trailer. And then obviously if the animation is strong, which hopefully they can turn it around, then the screenplay has to be at least like okay or decently strong to match that. I really hope that The Beginning After the End is a successful anime adaptation. I think, not to be biased here, as someone who creates a lot of webtoons for a living, I would love for the webtoon to anime pipeline to become a lot more proven. Right now it's just Solo Leveling is the only proven webtoon to anime adaptation that's been done well, right? And for The Beginning After the End to then pave that pathway, it's the first American owned creator IP that has ever gone to anime, which means that Lord of the Rings, Terminator, all those anime projects, in my opinion, those don't really count because they're owned by really big corporations, right? This is an individual who created a story, Turtle Me, who's the author, and it went popular. And it got adapted into anime because it's also popular in Japan, right? And that's an extremely difficult thing to do. So kudos to him. But yeah, I'm really hopeful for this anime adaptation and for it to be successful. I think that Crunchyroll is trying to really dig into, they've always been taking risks on the webtoon to anime adaptation pipeline, which has been amazing. And I think it's amazing. And there's been a lot of failures that I've seen from their original slate. But there's also obviously Solo Leveling, their biggest hit ever. So hopefully The Beginning After the End can change our minds. I've seen a few anime trailers where I've had my mind changed. A good example would again be Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling, the anime trailer, I thought was just fine. And then I was not that excited about it. Saw the Solo Leveling anime, now it's the biggest thing ever. But then I saw Sakamoto Days, the anime trailer. I also saw One Punch Man Season 2 and Season 3's trailers, and I was never excited by those, and then I saw the anime and I was right and was not excited by those because the trailers highlighted exactly the same animation style that I expected, which was unfortunate. And so we'll see. Without seeing the actual anime itself before all that stuff, a little bit skeptical, a little bit nervous, a little bit like, is it going to be another generic anime isekai thing? We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to leave the link in the description for you guys to give your own opinions. Make sure to comment them, and let me know if you guys like these types of videos where I just yap about current anime stuff rather than purely just educational stuff, but instead giving my take on new anime news or projects that are happening. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on next week's episode. Peace out.